Hello there, welcome. This is Father Marcus from the Costa Blanca Anglican Chaplaincy. Delighted to spend just a little bit of time with you. This coming Sunday, we have as our Gospel reading in church, the beginning of John's Gospel, the prologue as it's called. You know this so well. This is the third time we've had it, if we include Christmas. It begins like this. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. It's beautiful, poetic, powerful stuff. It takes us right back to the beginning of the whole Bible, the book of Genesis, when the story of creation unfolds. It begins with those words, in the beginning. And what we're discovering is that the first thing that happened, the very first thing that brings about creation, is that God speaks. God says, let there be light. And it's that word of God that becomes the very person of Jesus. And it's the most exciting thing. It is the most exciting thing, because what we discover is that God himself becomes a human being like you and I, and lives and walks amongst us, so that we can grasp his nature, understand something of him. And so what we're celebrating is the Word made flesh. And that's what this Gospel reading is all about. But words on their own, it's a strange concept. Words are designed to be shared with one another. We have what's called a conversation, the words going backwards and forwards between people. And my understanding of the whole creation story and the whole beginning of John's Gospel is that it's God having a conversation with us. We are engaging with him, or he is engaging with us in a way that we can grasp and understand. And those of you who have read some of the stuff I've been putting up this week will know that we had our synod, and our archdeaconry synod. And the synod is what it means is that we're walking together, walking alongside one another, and unpacking the great things that God has done. We had lots of brilliant speakers, but two that stand out for me. One was the Archbishop of York, Stephen Cottrell, and the other was the Dean of St Albans, Geoffrey John. And they were both amazing people. And I don't want to give away too much of what they said, because I can't do justice to most of their words, but they were both really uplifting and inspiring, and they got my heart singing, and they filled me with a great sense of hope. And Geoffrey John used this phrase. He said, "A beautiful conversation is one during which no one is trying to win." And I've been when I say stuck, happily glued to that phrase ever since I heard it on Tuesday or Wednesday. A beautiful conversation is one during which nobody is trying to win. When I look at the conversations that I have with people, I have to say sometimes they're not beautiful conversation, because I like it when people think the way that I think. And if they have a different opinion, then I'm not great at that they're allowed to have a different opinion, but I want them to have my opinion. I'm terrible. I'm a dreadful human being. And then when Geoffrey John said this, I thought, wouldn't it be different if when I had a conversation with people who had a different opinion from me, I wasn't trying to win. I was just sharing an idea, and I'm happy for someone to have a different idea. And there is things to be learnt from that. And sometimes when I look around at the divisions that there are in churches, and the divisions there are within nations, and the divisions that there are in politics, what I see is people trying to score points and get their own way and have people think the way that they think. And very often what we discover is that people aren't having beautiful conversations, they're having arguments, and they're not really listening, or they're not really speaking honestly, or they're being manipulative, and they're being sometimes insincere. And it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts when people don't listen, and it hurts when people are not honest, and it hurts when they're not sincere, and it hurts when they're not taking notice of your deep held thoughts. And this is why this gospel is so powerful, because what it's about is God coming alongside us and not bashing us and trying to manipulate us, but he's engaging by his very nature in beautiful conversation with us. And he's not trying to win. He's just pouring out his love. He's pouring out his presence. He's pouring out his beauty. He's pouring out his compassion. He's pouring out his very self. And it's beautiful. It's attractive. It's glorious. It's godly. And that's what Jesus does. I'm surprised that the church still manages to create divisions within itself the way that it does. Because it does that because it forgets that initial conversation when God spoke and brought us into being. And he did so purely in order that he could love us. So, my friends, we've got some homework to do. And this is to just reflect on the way that you and I speak with one another, and the way that you speak with members of your family, and the way that you speak with people who come for dinner when they can come for dinner. And you have those conversations, and just have a little reflection on those times when you've got a bit aerated and a bit self-opinionated and a bit like trying to get your own way, and wonder whether you were actually engaging in beautiful conversation. And then reflect on the Word of God and the conversation that Jesus wants to have with you. And maybe we can learn from that. I know I'm going to try. I am honestly going to try. So bless you, bless you, bless you. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.